What up, friends? How are you doing? Good morning, friends. How are you? So, we had a little bit of drama at the Queen's household, okay? Which is me. Um, my son last night, um, it's a very dramatic night for us, okay? First of all, happened right before bed, so since it happened right before bed, it carries on to the morning now, doesn't it, mommies? When our babies have incidents at night, it's an all night thing, right? Staying up with them and um, making sure they're okay. They claw at your arms. It's the whole thing, okay? But that's what we do, right? As moms, we're there for our children no matter what. Um, Even though we have to go to work super early in the morning, we put our children's needs ahead of our own, right? So, baby boy, um, I was right before bed. I do my chores as I always do to keep this house in somewhat tact. Okay. Um, I usually do the taking out of the trash, the sweeping. Um, Now, since we have a bunny, I gotta clean the cage every day because it's gonna smell like ass in here. It's gonna smell like ass up in here. So I have to do all that. Okay. In the meantime, last night I told my son, go pick up your room. What the hell's going on in there? So, because he was laying down, so then I said, pick up your room a little bit so it's not too messy, just a little bit, because he was tired already. Because we get up very early every day. Okay, he gets up with me, so I just was doing my thing. Okay, I just fed the dog, and I was starting with the bunny. I saved that for last because that's a little bit longer. Okay, so he just all of a sudden, my son comes stumbling. He's stumbling, but he's running to the kitchen, and he's like, "Mom, I'm choking. I'm gonna die." Like dramatic, okay? And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What's wrong, Daddy? What's wrong?" And he apparently was eating a candy. It's leftover Easter candy, okay? So it was like I didn't find out till later, but it was a warhead. He was eating one of those, which were my candies. Those weren't even his, okay? And he said he wasn't playing or anything like that. He said he was just sitting there. I was trying to get as much details as I could. And I was trying to like help him get it out because I couldn't see it in his throat or anything. So I started like whacking his back, and I'm like, Joel, and he's like panicking, and I'm like, I need you to calm down, Daddy, please, I need you to calm down, please. I'm trying to remain cool, okay? Normally I'm frantic, okay? We all know this, okay? We've seen this over the year, okay? And I'm like, I need you to calm down, Daddy, please. And so I'm like whacking and normally when I do that, when people are choking, it comes out normally. So that's normally the first thing I do is I start whacking the back, right? So so it wouldn't, and it kept this stupid candy kept going from his windpipe to his feeding, like to his esophagus. Like it was like going back and forth to the windpipe because there's times where he couldn't breathe and he was turning blue, and he was just like, and I was trying to tell him like, throw it up, like try to throw it up. And and when babies are choking, I'm really good at just like scooping it out of their neck because they're small babies. Never have I ever had somebody that was choking his size. Normally, when somebody's choking around me, it's an adult or an infant baby. Okay, and I've been able to help them with no problem. But this is my son, so this is different. It's a whole nother emotional roller coaster. So I'm like trying to like what, and it's not, nothing is coming out, and he's just screaming, and he's like clawing at his throat. Okay, and I'm like, let me. I'm like, let me call. Like, everything was just so happening so fast, and I wanted to call 911, but it's just one of me, you know. So I quickly called 911, and I'm like, my son. I was like, the lady answers. And I'm like, my son's choking. Please, I need an ambulance. That's the first. That's what I said when they answered, because they answered like right away. And then she's like, you need EMS or fire. I'm like, bitch, I said EMS. Like, I'm like. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am, whoever you are. Because it's the first thing I said when you answered the phone, okay? In my defense. It's the first thing I said was, I need an ambulance. My son is choking. When she said hello, okay? So I was clear, direct when you answered, okay? Don't ask me again. My son has seconds to live, okay? So my son's like, his whole face is wet from crying. He's like holding on to his throat, and then I'm like, so it's quickly like she like transfers to a man, okay, or he double jacks, I don't know. So he gets on the phone and he's like he's like, ma'am, I'm gonna help you. So I'm like, yes, thank you. I was like, my son is choking. Heads, like I'm like talking like super fast. I can talk really fast. Like I can talk super fast, get a point across, be direct. I could do all that. Okay. I mean, I was laser focused. Like I'm gonna get this ambulance here because I cannot help him. Ambulance is gonna get here. So we get on the phone and he's like, I said, my son is choking, can't get it, and it's not coming out. It's, I don't know. I don't think I knew at that time what it was. I can't remember. So he's like, okay, ma'am. And right when he says, okay, ma'am, my son goes, like, he does like this whole, like from the guts of hell. He freaking, like, he freaking, like, just like hawks it out, like very hard, because because while he's doing this, like it's wiggling out of wherever it was stuck on his windpipe, like so as he's like trying to get it out, it was moving. That's the good thing, it was moving. And then when he felt it high enough, he went and he hucked it out. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's out. It's out, sir. I'm like, thank you. He just got it out. He just got it out. I was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to yell at that lady. I am so sorry, but my son was choking and it would not come out. I couldn't get it out for him. And he's like, it's okay, ma'am. It's okay, ma'am. No, don't worry. No, don't need to apologize. It's going to be a little bit sore. It's going to be sore, but he's going to be okay. All right. It's all out, right? And they're like, yes. I was like, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you. Bye. It was one of those. Okay. Look, I ain't no cop caller, but in that situation, I had to call. I had to. I'm sorry, guys, but I had to. But it was very dramatic. Okay, he was very. He was shaking after that. It was like the longest 2 minutes of my life. The woulda, shoulda, couldas came out, because that was my candy. It wasn't his. What if he wouldn't have made it? What if he wouldn't have come to the kitchen? Because it takes me like an hour to do my chores, okay, people? It takes an hour. And he's by himself, okay? And I've stressed it to him so many times not to eat while laying down, not to eat in your bed. The only place to eat is in the kitchen. He knows that now, okay? We both learned valuable lessons, even though he is old enough. We do not leave our candy around for him to just. And he was supposed to be cleaning his room, guys, remember? He wasn't supposed to be eating candy. We had already brushed our teeth, got ready for bed. So, any little candies, I'm not going to tell you how to parent. I would never tell anybody how to parent. But just me, myself, I'm keeping all the small candies away from him from now on. Because there was a similar incident like this with my little brother when he was young, too. But he was choking on ice. And he couldn't. It was very traumatic for a lot of us. It's very traumatic to see something like that. Anyway, so that's my message for today. I feel it happened for a reason. I always keep candy around. It's not no big deal. Nothing like this ever happened. And he wasn't jumping. He tells me, I don't know. I can only take his word because I was doing something, you know. He was just sitting there. He says he wasn't even jumping around or anything, and it just accidentally went down his throat because it's a very sour candy. So he had it like on the side of his mouth, and then it just kind of went back. So just be careful, okay, guys. Even with you, I mean, anybody could joke just because he's a kid. I mean, I could that could happen to me, you know. Anyways, please be careful. All candy, all Easter candies out of here, all of it for us in our household. Okay, bye bye now.